I'd see him sitting on that couch all day long, just staring at that Hollywood hogwash.
Our favorite show was Hollywood Hogwash.
Hey everyone, welcome to another episode of Hollywood Hogwash. I'm Andrew Pisano, along with my brother Joe Pisano and Aaron Rosa.
Almost back to full strength.
It's time for
Spider-Man!
Spider-Man. Yes, the
Sorry.
first Sam Raimi Spider-Man film.
You know, there's no MCU without Robert Downey Jr. in Iron Man. And there's no Robert Downey Jr. in Iron Man without this movie.
I agree.
Yeah.
I think this was like, oh, you can make a good superhero movie.
Yep.
You know, the Superman movies were good when I was a kid. And then, you know, Michael Keaton made one, possibly two good Batman movies.
Two.
But, you know, this was kind of the first time where it's like, oh, it could be fun.
Yes.
And this could have like a whole, you know, just series of great movies. And yeah, like Marvel, this was Marvel's coming out party for sure.
Yeah, X-Men came out 2 years before this. It did well, but it was not received very well. I mean, that movie was not good, let's be honest.
No, right.
Not on this level.
That wasn't, oh, look, it's, you know, Marvel's on the map yet. It was this movie that really, you know, kind of set the stage.
Right. And I think a lot of it still holds up. Some of it's pretty corny, but like, you know, overall it's like it really is a comic book movie. Like when you think about superhero movies, you know, you think about The Dark Knight, it's a movie about a superhero, but it's not a superhero movie. It's not a comic book movie. It's a crime thriller starring Batman and the Joker.
Right.
It feels like you're reading a comic book while you're watching Spider-Man.
It jumped off the page just like a comic book.
You know, even
Absolutely.
the dialogue and the motivation of the bad guy and, you know, and stuff like that. Like, yeah.
Right.
It's like some of the lines too are straight from the comics, you know?
And what's funny is like watching the movie, it's so Sam Raimi.
Yes.
But it's also so perfect as a comic book movie.
Yeah.
Like you would never think, like you would never watch Evil Dead and think like, oh, Spider-Man movie. But it just fits like a glove.
Yeah, because he throws in his horror stuff into these movies and actually makes you, you know, kind of afraid of the villain.
Yeah.
Like a lot of jump scares and stuff like that, especially with the Goblin. But
Yeah,
don't worry, no spoilers yet, you know. We're not gonna, this is the spoiler-free part.
19 years?
You know, it's 21 years.
21 years.
21
Yeah,
years. 2002. I was thinking
02 this was?
Yes.
Wow.
Yes.
Man.
Yeah. So you had 21 years to see it. So, you know, Green Goblin dies at the end. So there you go.
Oh, okay. Spoiler.
Sorry, guys.
Spoiler free. He's spoiler alerted?
He's spoiler alerted. That's right. Yeah. Josh is on assignment.
Yeah.
He. I gave him some movies to watch so he can get better at his job.
Yeah.
Yeah. So, all right. Next up, we got to thank some new patrons. So, thank you to Jordan or Jordan. Thank you to Cody Collins and Joe Guerrero.
Nice.
3 new patrons this week. Thank you so much. You
Viva la raza.
Join them, yes, at patreon.com/Hollywood Hogwash. We finished our review of Secret Invasion, you know. That was disgusting.
Yeah.
We got Ahsoka starting in a couple weeks, but I think coming this week, we're going to be doing our next bracket.
New subscribers just in time.
That's right. We're going to be doing our second bracket ever on the Hollywood Hogwash Patreon, so you're going to want to check that out.
And we might play a board game
We might play a game.
at some point. That could
That's
be a lot
right.
of fun.
Yes.
Yeah.
But hottest 90s crush. Who is the hottest 90s crush from our childhood?
So
Wow.
much
So
fun.
this is just me and you, I'm guessing?
This is going to be
I
great
was alive
because
in the 90s.
like there's
You were like 10.
there's no age like there's no
That's
age
good enough for me.
generational issues. It's going to be good.
You were jacking off at a very early age, my friend.
Oh, yes, I was. Absolutely.
No,
Little TMI.
that's a good one. That's a good one. You have a list yet?
Oh, yeah.
Oh, okay.
One of our fans made it a long time
Oh,
ago,
good,
actually.
good.
And I've been saving it for Hogwash, so it should be a lot of fun. It's not 80. If it was 80s crush, then yeah, it'd be I probably miss a lot of those, but
Right.
90s, I'm right there, man.
Right there.
So yeah,
Right there.
exactly. There it is. Patreon.com/Hollywood Hogwash. Now let's get to the news and rumors, aka the Hollywood Hogwash. Did you guys see the season 2 trailer of Loki?
Yes.
With Ke Huy Quan
Wow,
from Everything Everywhere All at Once?
Did your mind get blown?
Yes, and I mean, right after seeing Secret Invasion, this certainly helped seeing this trailer because it looks really good. And it's like, thank God we still have some things in the MCU that we could watch
Yes.
that are watchable. Now, look, maybe it won't be good, but the trailer at least looked really good, and the first season was really good. So why wouldn't this be good?
It's sad that we have to remind ourselves there's good things in the MCU.
Well,
It's few and far between now.
yeah.
Can you imagine thinking that like 10 years ago? Like, we're going to have trouble remembering there's even good things.
Look,
in
I
the
had some
MCU.
concerns after Endgame because,
Everyone, yeah.
Well, sure.
they're turning a giant page. They put, look, how long between the first Iron Man and Endgame? Was it like
2008, yeah, 20 years.
20 years?
Oh,
No, not
about-
20.
20 years.
2008
Yeah.
to
2019.
2019, 10 years,
Huh?
right? 10 years between those two movies, what I'm saying?
Oh, okay.
Between
11 years.
Yeah,
sorry.
between Iron Man and Endgame. My point is that that's a long run
Mm-hmm.
of really good movies and a great story. Literally, that whole thing was like one running story. And, you take out Robert Downey Jr. and, the perfect casting of Iron Man, Captain America, Thor.
Yes.
Yeah, it's probably going to go downhill a little bit, So we'll see what happens.
I don't know. I was just surprised because they still had Spider-Man. They still had Doctor Strange. They had interesting characters still. They had
Look, I
good
mean, I
actors
didn't.
still.
No Way Home was good. I'm not. No Way Home was a really good movie.
Sure.
So was Doctor Strange. They definitely had
They were fine.
their charm.
Yeah. Nothing
Yeah.
like we've been used to.
Just
but-
now that you're watering it down with all these shows, and Secret Invasion was proof, and She-Hulk was proof that it doesn't just automatically work. You
No.
still have to give it writing and direction
They should
and a
never.
good story.
They should never have done the shows.
Yeah.
They should never have
Well,
done the
it's,
shows.
yeah, I mean, the movies haven't held up either. I mean, Ant-Man 3 was terrible.
But if they had just focused on only the movies, though, maybe they wouldn't have been such disappointments.
It was too much for sure.
Yeah.
Yeah. But
Spread
Loki
too
looks
thin.
good. I like the scene where Ke Huy Quan is like, wow, time slipping. And Owen Wilson's like, you know what that is? Yes. Really? You do? Yes. Can you fix it? No.
No. Yeah.
So confidently, no.
Yeah.
But it looks really good. It's coming out October 6th, which is right as when Ahsoka's ending. So we're like pretty much set for the rest of the year with the Patreon. So
Right. Sure.
that's going to be good. Also, there were reports like earlier this year that Wonder Woman 3 was canceled.
Sure.
But
Two.
well, yeah. But now, once James Gunn and Peter Safran took over, it's like, yeah, we're not doing Wonder Woman 3. And maybe that's true. They're not doing the Wonder Woman 3 that was planned with the same director from the first two. But now Gal Gadot's saying that they are developing the sequel with James Gunn and Peter Safran.
Someone
which,
needs to come out.
he's already confirmed that she's staying, so
Yeah.
it makes sense.
Someone has to come out and just say, okay, starting now, we're starting over.
He
or
did say that.
something. He did?
He said it's starting over with Superman Legacy.
Right.
So new Superman, new
Yeah.
Batman.
Yeah.
Wonder Woman stays the same, but everything we've seen up to this point maybe doesn't count.
I think so.
Okay, all right.
Yeah, it's not canon. Even Blue Beetle, which comes out this month, it doesn't count.
Oh, that's not canon?
No, he said Superman Legacy will be the start of it.
What was that movie you said?
Blue Beetle.
Who are you?
Yeah,
No,
it's projected to be a bigger bomb than the Flash.
Yeah.
I don't even know who that is, though. Still to this day, I don't know.
Well, yeah,
Kind of
he's not-
sounds familiar.
Sure, but you didn't know who the Guardians of the Galaxy were when that came out.
yeah.
No one did.
Did I see something about they're going to do like an animated Justice League movie type situation?
Well, they said they're gonna be doing
like a
a-
pre-reboot, like non.
I don't think that's
kind of
canon,
thing.
though.
Right.
No,
like
They
They
were putting out
Elseworlds
Batman
kind of
movies
thing.
during,
They
Dark
said
Knight.
Right.
James Gunn laid out his plan when he first got the job. And he even said that, yeah, they're going to be doing cartoons that will be canon.
Oh,
Yeah.
really?
Yes.
Okay.
Interesting.
And so, I mean, It's somewhere. We talked about it on the show when it came out, but it's like 20 projects. Like he has his own, plan like Marvel does.
All right.
Where it's like, here's what we're doing for the next 10 years.
As long as he has a plan.
Yeah. I mean, I trust James Gunn. You got to reboot this thing. DC's been sloppy for a long time. And, Christopher Nolan won't return their calls. So they had to go with James Gunn.
Damn it. Right.
Yeah. I don't think, Nolan's not interested in doing stuff like this. But also in a recent interview, Emily Blunt said that she's so ready for a sequel to Edge of Tomorrow. She's even said that she read a script. So they're still pushing for it.
Tom Cruise?
Yeah.
It's almost like you're a little nervous, but you want it.
Right.
Amazing movie.
Yes.
And I love it. Every time it's on, it's like, damn it. I got to watch the rest of this movie. It's literally one of those. It's almost like, where do you go, though?
Well, the problem is it's been so long.
Yeah.
Like, it's already been 10 years by the time this movie comes out. You know what I mean?
It's been
I
so
just
long,
don't know
and
why it's taken. I don't know why it's taken so long. I guess Tom Cruise is pretty busy, but still.
Well, it's going to be one of those movies where it's going to cost so much to make. And, like, the highest grossing Tom Cruise movies are going to be the Mission Impossible movies. This sequel is not going to make that amount of money. So
No.
how much of a moneymaker would this be for
Well,
studio?
remember, it was a box office bomb.
Right.
But then the DVD sales skyrocketed. So then they were like, okay, maybe we should make a sequel. But originally, the original was a bomb. So maybe that's what they're afraid of, is that it would be a bomb again. But I don't know. Well, yeah, I mean, I hope it gets made because that movie that's my favorite Tom Cruise movie.
It was like Oblivion with a happy ending.
Right.
It was great.
It was funny because I remember seeing Oblivion it was either the year before, maybe not even. Maybe it was like the same summer, and I was like, that was pretty good.
Yeah.
And then I said Edge of Tomorrow. I was like, oh, never mind.
Oh, yeah.
Edge of Tomorrow was like 10 times better.
So satisfying.
Yeah.
Bill Paxton's in it.
Right. Yeah.
Yeah.
Also, going back to Oppenheimer that, we reviewed a couple weeks ago, like during that review, when Joe and I were watching the movie, we both saw the scene, and this is a little spoiler alert, I guess, if you haven't seen that movie, but like, it's become a big thing on social media now where fans are like pointing out like, wait, was Florence Pugh's character murdered?
Yeah.
Because there's one little shot where you see a black hand like pushing her head into the bathtub. And now, so apparently there's been a big conspiracy like long ago, like back when it happened that, like the U.S. government killed her so that Oppenheimer would stop getting distracted.
Oh, wow.
Because remember, in the movie, he leaves during the project to go have sex with her and see her. And they're like, yeah, you need to focus, bro.
Yeah.
Focus up.
So, yeah, there's always been this big conspiracy that they killed her. And
So that's all that was? Is that one little shot of a hand?
It was like Nolan's way of saying like, maybe it could have happened that way.
Yeah.
And that's why it was like very subtle.
Right.
And not everyone noticed it.
If you're looking down at your popcorn or blinking.
Right, yeah.
Yeah, you could have missed
like
it.
we both saw it and then we looked at each other. We're like, was that what?
Was she killed?
Was that what?
I was like, did Oppenheimer kill her? Is that what they're trying to say? I don't know.
You know what's funny is I didn't really notice it, but once you guys brought it up afterwards, I was like, I think I did see a
It was
glove.
really quick.
Very
Yeah.
quick.
It was like one shot, but
Yeah.
yeah. Also, new details about Ben Affleck's canceled Batman movie have come out.
Giant spider.
Yes.
Okay.
No.
Right.
It suggests that it would have put a new spin on 80 years of Batman mythology, pulling from different eras to approach Bruce Wayne's story from a whole new perspective.
Interesting. Like maybe him shooting guns, which would be different. Maybe they do something like that.
Oh, no.
Oh, well, that's what his Batman
Yeah,
does.
yes.
He's a serial killer
A murderer.
who's a psychopath, unless you mention his mom.
Well,
And then he's best friends.
well,
That's Batman.
it makes sense.
Batman.
It's fine.
When I first saw Batman Superman, I was like, oh, this guy's not Bruce Wayne. This guy murdered Bruce Wayne and stole his identity.
Honestly, yeah, sure.
And there's even a Batman villain that steals Bruce Wayne's identity in the comics.
Really?
Like he was even in the Arkham Knight video game. It's pretty funny.
Well, I'm pretty
so
sure.
maybe it's him.
I'm pretty sure Jared Leto's plays Robin, who turned into Joker in this world.
Makes no sense.
Makes
yeah.
no sense. Well, a lot of conspiracy fan theories.
The worst
I've
Joker
heard
ever.
that theory too.
Yeah.
That's interesting.
Also, Super Mario Brothers is now available to watch on Peacock.
Ooh,
so
I
if
still
you
haven't
have
seen
the
it.
cock, you got to check it out.
Yeah.
It's a fun movie.
Sure.
That podcast is when Aaron and Josh got very confused about how I rate movies, and there was like this whole thing. Because I was like, as a Mario movie, it's a 10 out of 10.
Okay.
But like as like, you know, just looking at it unbiased, like if I never knew what Mario was, like rating it unbiased, you know, I gave it like a 6 out of 10 or something. And
why would you watch it if you're not a Mario fan?
Well, I'm sure there's got to be someone out there that never.
No.
No one.
Nobody.
A child that never heard of Mario before.
That's not who they're. If I come out with a
No, I first said as a Mario movie, it's a 10 out of 10. And they were like, well, what does that mean?
We were totally
And then I had to
lost.
explain myself.
It changed how I rate movies now because I used to just go on one overall scale.
this Vince McMahon puppet
Yes.
is not made for people who don't follow WWE, right?
Yeah.
So as a puppet, it's kind of weird. I don't know, 4 out of 10.
Okay, but not
And a
every
Vince
movie
McMahon
that's
puppet, 10 out of 10.
not every movie that's
The
made
horns-
is an IP.
I'm just
You go
teasing.
see a movie. I'm just saying, yeah. Like it's a Mario fan service movie.
Yeah, right.
Like if you brought, you
Is
know,
that what you'd want? Of course, right?
Yes, of
As a
course.
Mario
I wasn't criticizing the movie. It was
Yeah,
just the. See, now we're getting into it again. It's getting,
Well, a new perspective, me.
yeah. And then last thing I have was Mark Mogulis, a.k.a. Hector from Breaking Bad, died this past Thursday in Manhattan. His son said he suffered from a brief illness, but didn't specify. He was 83 years old. But yeah. Hector, the one in the wheelchair, always dinging his bell.
Breaking Bad, Better Call
was
Saul.
great.
He was in.
I remember I
chance to
first
look at me.
I remember I first saw him in Ace Ventura, the first one.
Right.
Remember he was the
The
landlord.
landlord, of course.
Enough with the wisecracks,
Oh
Ventura.
my,
You owe me rent.
oh my God,
Mr.
I
Chicken Ants,
forgot
I
about
told
that.
you. Paying you is my top priority. I'm doing a very big case right now. Take that. Look at that. That's an albino pigeon. Some rich guy lost and he's offering a $10,000 reward. Yeah, I mean, that was like my favorite movie when
I
it came
saw
out.
videos of you at how old?
7.
6, 7?
7 reciting those
Reciting
lines.
like every line. It's
Yeah.
really good. I actually had a thing where I cut between the movie and Andrew back and forth.
Right.
It's fucking gold. We got to find these. Since we're on deaths, a couple more deaths. One of the Euphoria stars, Angus Cloud, passed away. And this really upset a lot of younger generation kids. Because he was really loved. And Pee Wee Herman.
Yeah, we mentioned that last week.
Did we? I thought it happened like 5 days
You weren't
ago.
on last week's show.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, I had the COVID and
thought he just,
Joe was doing coke with strippers.
Not quite. but,
Allegedly. Allegedly.
yeah. Is that what you said?
What?
No, I was out of town.
All right. Well, there you go. Now that we've covered all the horrible deaths.
Yeah,
Or
right.
maybe it was. Yeah, no, maybe you're right. Maybe I did. Maybe it was this week.
Pretty
maybe
sure
it
it
happened
was.
like Monday and it was like,
Right.
oh, that's right. Yeah.
Yeah.
All right. On to, you know what we're covering.
Spider-Man.
There
Fuck
it is.
yes.
There it
Probably
is.
Stop pushing that button. But yeah, directed by Sam Raimi. The opening credits and the music is perfect.
Yeah.
And again, Danny Elfman.
Oh,
Yes.
great choice.
That's fucking crazy.
It's
Great
almost
choice.
like if you need
Did the Tim Burton Batman movies.
if you need to do a movie one of a superhero movie franchise,
Yeah.
go get Danny Elfman.
Yeah.
Amazing music. It's still my favorite Spider-Man movie music. You know, over the Andrew Garfield ones and the Tom Holland ones.
It's great. It
Still my
holds-
favorite.
Like
It's
this is
so
the music
like
you,
powerful.
This is the music you think of when you think Spider-Man.
Oh, for sure. Yeah. You know, it starts with Tobey Maguire as Peter Parker with his narration. You know, who am I? You sure you want to know?
I'm a mother grabbing
I
spider.
know. Every time I told when me and Aaron were watching it together, I was like, there's so many scenes in this movie where it just makes me think of the Jack Black MTV parody.
Oh my God.
And we could watch it at the end. I have it pulled up, but
MTV Movie Award parody.
so great.
It's amazing.
And also, this Peter Parker is the biggest loser out of all of the, you know, out of Andrew Garfield, Tom
Yeah,
Holland. Like,
absolutely.
he actually is a loser, and pretty much everyone hates him. Like, even Tom Holland, like, yeah, he's in the Mathletes or whatever, but, like, they all like him.
Yeah, a couple
liked.
girls really like him.
Yes.
He's cute. Yeah.
This one, no one likes him.
Makes
No,
you wonder
he's-
how he's even friends with Harry in the first place.
Yeah,
Well,
why does,
every
even,
kid
why does
has
Harry
a-
like him?
Every kid has a best friend. You know what I mean?
Sure.
That just, you know what I mean? For whatever reason.
Sure.
I don't remember being super well liked in high school or middle school, and I had best friends. It's all good. Everyone has a friend.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Not until I got tall, then the ladies were interested.
Correct.
It was like, oh yeah, now
Late
you want me?
Paisanos.
Oh, Pisano.
yeah, all right.
All right.
Should have seen Andrew and Eric Armin. It was like, oh wow, one's gonna
Yes.
be a linebacker for the Texans, and one's gonna be a man someday, maybe.
Someday.
and then poof,
Right.
complete switch.
So yeah, Flash. I like when he gets on the bus. Flash Thompson looks at his friend. He's like, "Do it."
Right.
He trips him. It's like, yeah, trip Peter Parker.
Right.
Fucking do it, man. And Peter and his classmates take the bus to the field trip, but Harry Osborn shows up in his dad's Rolls Royce. And that's where we meet Harry Osborn, played by James Franco, and Norman Osborn, played by the MVP, Willem Dafoe. Spider-Man!
We can't press it for this podcast.
Right. And in this scene, Peter meets Norman for the first time. So did they just recently become friends, or
Not
is
important.
Norman just too busy?
No, he's too busy. I
Yeah.
think. Yeah.
This was something I had missed. Like, it had been so long since I saw this. I thought there was a already existing relationship. It was like, oh, hey, Mr. Osborn, how's it going? They meet for the first
meet,
time
yeah.
at the beginning of this movie.
Yeah,
I
he's
forgot
like,
about
Peter,
that.
this is my father, Norman Osborn.
Yeah, Norman.
Like in real life, you just go like, hey, this is my dad.
It's my dad. Yeah, and then you go, hello, Mr. Pisano.
Right. Yeah. And then that's where, like one of his most famous lines where he tells Peter, oh, I hear you're into science. I'm something of a scientist myself.
Yeah. And then, like, in No Way Home, everyone jizzed at the same
Yes.
time.
We were like, you have to
When he
say it.
says that.
It's one of the best moments.
I'm a bit of a scientist myself.
In the building, there's this like really quick shot where Flash is sniffing Mary Jane's hair.
Yeah.
And she's disgusted. It's just to show you that like this guy's really a shithead or something. He's just like, ah. She's like, God,
Right.
what's wrong with you? It's really weird.
By the way, I only recently found out that Flash in this movie ended up being Deathstroke in the DCU.
Of course.
Yeah.
Yeah.
He also got to fuck Sofia Vergara for like 8 years.
That's
in
right.
news, they just broke up.
Yeah, they
recently.
just. It was funny. I looked it up and I was like, oh, they just divorced.
Every relationship in Hollywood
Yeah.
always loses.
Except for Harrison Ford and Calista Flockhart. They're still going strong.
Yeah, both of their third marriages, but sure.
Yeah, right. Yeah. For now.
For now.
We'll see when she has to change his diapers, I guess.
Yeah.
So Peter tries to take a photo of the spiders, but Flash and his buddies are bumping him. This is like classic, like 1980s bullying, you know.
Yes.
And one of the scientists mentions spider sense. And then Harry impresses MJ with facts that Peter told him. So like right away, he's just an asshole. He knows Peter likes this girl, and he's like, well, if you're not going to make a move, I will. And then he's just telling her these facts that he wasn't even interested in.
Yeah.
And then MJ points out that one of the spiders is missing. And the scientist woman just says, huh.
Yeah. Yeah.
All right, let's move on.
She looks in the box, sees it's missing. She's like,
One of these venomous spiders are missing. And she's
Hey, dude.
like, huh.
Radioactive spider, 6 o'clock.
So Peter
Seriously,
takes,
dude.
yeah, Peter takes MJ's picture for the school paper, and then he gets bit by the red and blue spider.
Yes.
perfect.
Perfect.
I love that. I don't care.
Yeah. Then Norman meets with a military officer. He's got this military contract bid coming up, and this guy's unpleased with Norman's unstable performance-enhancing chemicals. So they're just better steroids.
Captain America.
Yeah, they didn't say super soldier, but it's basically super soldier, right?
Yeah.
Norman tells him they're ready for human trials, but his assistant says they need to go back to formula, and Norman does not like that.
Back to formula.
Back to formula? So he tests it on himself. His muscles get bigger, but he has like a seizure or something, and his heart stops.
And by the way, there was a really nice, like, quick little flash scene when he's having his little freak out.
Yeah.
Where there's just one quick shot of his face and his eyes are all white like Evil Dead.
Yeah.
It's like, yeah.
His
that's-
eyes are rolled back.
That's Sam Raimi.
So his assistant tries to save him, but Norman wakes up and he says, back to formula. And he throws the assistant through the glass. Then he jumps on the thing and he goes, like,
Wolverine.
like he's just straight up an animal at this point.
Yeah.
Then Peter goes home, tells Aunt May and Uncle Ben that he's tired. He goes to his room. He's very sick. and he passes out on the floor.
Don't tell anyone.
No, like
You got
he must
bitten by
have
a
thought he
spider.
was dying. He's like, I'm just gonna die
He's
here.
clearly so sick. He's passing out.
Right.
And then it's kind of corny because, like, as he's laying there, like, images of skulls flash on the screen, and you're just like, what?
He thought he's dying, right? He's dreaming of dying. Maybe.
I read in the trivia that, like, the budget got, like they were running low on the budget, so one of Raimi's guys, like, threw in shit from Evil Dead in there. Like, that was, like, skulls, I guess, from Evil
no
Dead or
shit.
something, which
That's cool.
makes a lot of sense.
Perfect.
So Peter wakes up the next morning. He's gained a lot of muscle mass, and he no longer needs his glasses. And
And he
you
just
know,
goes, huh,
right,
look at that.
yeah,
All right.
interesting. And then Aunt May's like outside, but Peter, what are you doing? The whole movie, Peter, what are you doing? Are you masturbating in there, Peter?
Yeah.
Do
his
you
aunt-
see
his
a
aunt-
change?
This aunt, of course, which is the comic aunt, was very old.
Yeah.
But, you know, she's playing like his great grandmother. I don't know how old his mom was.
Right.
This is his aunt.
You're doing so many strange experiments in there, Peter.
Are you seeing a change? And he's like, big change. Oh my! Do you want me to measure again?
Jesus.
You grow 3 inches.
My
I am-
palms are, was it
My
hairy?
hands, they're all hairy and sticky.
Sticky. No change there.
Yeah.
He's just shooting ropes in his room.
I
It's-
Oh my
immediately,
God! Later, yes.
I immediately felt so bad for Uncle Ben because you know that dude never got one single blowy from this
No.
woman.
Aw.
She's the most
Back in the
innocent.
day?
Like what?
on.
What is that? Oh, I don't understand.
Right.
So Peter chases after the bus again, but his hand sticks to the poster on it, and he rips part of it off. Like, this movie does a great job of him
Discovering
all of his powers.
Yeah,
Yes.
for sure.
The next day, Harry finds his father passed out in his office, and someone tells Norman that the assistant was murdered and the glider was stolen. And he seems shocked, but like he's like kind of remembering it, but not really. And then during lunch, MJ slips in the cafeteria. Her food goes flying up in the air, but Peter catches her and catches all of her food on her tray, which this was not CGI.
That's what they say.
They said they really did this, and it took 156 takes.
right.
Jesus.
Very interesting. I mean, I'm sure it was just someone above him dropping the shit.
Yeah.
But like the one part where like that bowl drops on top of the drink was like the most impressive part, where it's like that's what's really difficult about this
Right.
move.
Yeah.
And then Peter accidentally shoots a rope out, shoots a web, hits a tray, and then he accidentally hits Flash with it. And then, of course, Flash fights Peter, but Peter's way too fast.
This was great.
We got the slow motion shot of the punch with Peter like, huh.
Can you just a quick rewind? Can you imagine being on the crew for that scene
Yeah.
and you get to take 140 and it's like they're not getting this. What are we gonna do here?
Right. Like 117. He's like,
Right.
are we still?
We're still
Sam, give it up.
we're still filming.
It's a
this.
Spider-Man movie. There's
Jesus.
plenty of CGI in this movie.
Right.
But yeah, I love the slow-mo shot of the punch, and Peter's just like, huh.
Yeah. Look at
It's
that.
also very Matrix-y, which that came out 3 years before.
Right.
And then after that, he tests his abilities by jumping on rooftops like the Matrix.
Yeah, right.
Like Neo in the Matrix 3 years earlier.
Yeah.
So at the end of that fight scene, so he's dodging and then finally he throws a punch at Flash.
Yeah.
And knocks him, 30 feet back.
Yes.
And Mary Jane looks at him with like this horrified,
I know.
disgusted face. It's like, wait a minute. You have made it clear that you feel bad about this guy getting picked
And your
on
boyfriend was about to go beat him
and
up
brutal.
again.
He was about to just annihilate this guy.
Right.
And now you're just disgusted that he stood up for
And
himself
like
finally.
the whole school is still like, oh, you are a freak.
Oh, you're
Well,
a
the
freak.
one kid. I mean, they
yeah,
made
but
it
everyone else was scared of him. Like, you be the most popular kid in school.
for sure.
When in
Be like
real
a
life-
school bully.
But the
like-
double backflip
Yeah.
over like that, they'd be like, he might be a
And his
superhero.
web.
Yeah,
his
right.
web that they all saw.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And no one knows he's Spider-Man 2 weeks later.
Right. So he does some wall climbing. Then he's trying to figure out how to shoot the web again. And we have like a nice little improv scene of Tobey Maguire do like, go web, up and away web,
So good.
Shazam.
Yeah.
And then he finally figures out how to shoot the web, but he slams right into a wall.
Yep.
Then Peter goes home. He takes out the trash, and MJ storms out of her house because of her horrible, abusive father.
Yeah.
He's like, you're trash, just like your mother.
Clearly
Fucking
molested
bitch.
her.
Oh,
right?
absolutely.
Yeah. Yeah.
And somewhere in one of these scenes, there's a scene where Toby's in his room and he looks out his window and it looks directly into Mary Jane's window, which is like 4 feet away.
4 feet. Like they could have sex through the window.
How are her blinds not closed 24/7?
Yeah.
She knows this guy can look right in her window at all times.
Exactly. She's always liked him. We know this.
Exactly.
And if there's one thing that really doesn't hold up for me in these movies, it's how Peter and MJ talk to each other. Because they talk to each other like they're 5 years old.
Yeah.
Right.
And it's just a little unsettling. When Peter's like, I cried like a baby when you played Cinderella. It's like, ugh.
Yeah.
God, what the? You're supposed to be 18.
Right.
It's just weird. And they start to have a moment where they're into each other, but Flash shows up to show MJ his new car. And that's where I'm like, wait, so MJ and Peter are super poor, but Flash is like, has rich parents. They go to the same school.
Yeah, public school.
Yeah.
Not all rich parents send their kids to boarding school or private school. Yeah.
So Peter looks up car prices in the newspaper and he sees an ad to be paid $3,000 for wrestling, just like the comics.
Right.
And we have a little scene of Peter designing his Spider-Man costume. We see what he wants it to look like, but that's going to take some while.
Yeah.
And that's where he starts like just shooting webs all over his room. And again, Aunt May's like, Peter, are you shooting ropes in there?
I know what you're doing, Peter.
Leave him alone.
It's natural.
Jesus, I hope he has a lock on his fucking door.
Right.
And then Uncle Ben drives Peter to the library because he wants to have a talk with him. And that's where he tells Peter, with great power comes great responsibility.
And why does he tell him that again? Because he doesn't know he's Spider-Man.
No, but he knows he beat up Flash.
Ah, yeah.
He goes, just because you could beat him up doesn't give you the right to. Just be careful because these are you're starting to become a man.
Right.
You don't want to be a shithead.
Right.
So that's what he said.
Yeah.
With great power comes great responsibility. And Peter reacts like a typical teenager. Ben says, I know I'm not your father. And Peter says, then stop pretending to be. And you could tell that really broke Uncle Ben's heart right there.
What a dick.
That was rough.
Piece of shit. So then Peter goes to a wrestling show where Bonesaw is played by Macho Man Randy Savage.
Bonesaw's ready.
Yes.
So great.
And we got Bruce
What
Campbell.
a great casting.
Oh, my
Seriously.
God. We got
The stage of Macho Man's life where he looked like he was ready to drop from heart failure at any moment.
He lived 9 more years.
Yeah.
So
Did 9 more years after this?
I know.
really 10 because this was filmed a year before. He
Yikes.
died in 2011. I was at Universal when I found out. I was waiting in line for the Back to the Future ride.
Oh.
I'll never forget where I found out on my phone that Randy Savage died.
Yikes.
Yeah.
Car accident.
It was upsetting. Well, he had a heart attack.
Well, heart attack.
And then he crashed
car
into a
accident.
tree.
Sure.
Yeah.
It was crazy. So yeah, we also have Bruce Campbell playing the ring announcer.
Perfect.
And Peter wanted to call himself the Human Spider, but Bruce Campbell's like, oh, that sucks.
Yeah.
So he introduces him as the Amazing Spider-Man.
So good.
And Peter gets in the ring, but they lower the cage. He's like, I didn't sign up for a cage match. This is way worse. And in
Right.
this world, wrestling is real.
Yeah. Sure.
I mean, I've watched I've heard stories of like some promotions back in the day in the 70s or 80s. They would actually have one of the wrestlers just like invite a fan to the ring, and it's like just to show that this guy could really kick the shit out of someone.
Yeah.
And they would just literally beat up a fan. They're like, yep, that was before lawsuits and all that shit existed.
That's awesome.
So I guess that's what they're doing here.
Yeah.
And then Bonesaw's like, hey, freak show, you're going nowhere. I got you for 3 minutes. 3 minutes of playtime.
Playtime.
And he's not even Bonesaw. They just should have been like, it's Macho Man.
Just
Like,
call him
he's
Macho
not
Man.
even playing another
They should have
character.
just
Vince was like, hell no.
Just put the fucking tassels on his arm. Come on.
Right. And then Peter makes a poorly timed homophobic joke at Bonesaw.
Yes.
Oh, that's a cute outfit. Did your husband give it to you?
Wow.
Yeah.
How much can
And he-
change in 20 years?
He gets beat with a chair for it.
Yeah, he
For
does.
being a homophobe.
Yeah.
And then Bonesaw tries to murder Peter with a crowbar. So I guess he really took that joke seriously.
He did.
But Peter knocks him out with a series of kicks, even flipped Bonesaw into the ropes. And he landed head first. And in the trivia, when I looked it up, they're like, yeah, Macho Man actually got hurt
Yeah, of course.
He did.
in that scene.
Ouch.
Wow.
So Peter wins, but the
So it's and new.
yeah, and new Bonesaw.
Well, Bonesaw was like the champion, right?
Yes, yeah.
So why not? This is the part I didn't understand where the promoter's like, all right, here's $100.
Right.
You only lasted for, well, go ahead, say that part.
Yeah, he's like, I told you 3 minutes and you beat him in 2. So for that, you get $100. Peter says, I need that money. The promoter says, I missed the part where that's my problem.
Why wouldn't the promoter be like, hey, you were amazing in this world of real wrestling.
Yeah.
How about I hire you for $5,000 and you come out every week?
Because
Where's that?
Bonesaw's his boyfriend.
Sure.
Or husband. Sorry, he said husband. Yeah.
Maybe.
So a man robs a promoter. Peter could have stopped him, but he let him get away, and he tells the promoter, I missed the part where that's my problem.
Yeah.
And he feels,
They had a gun in his hand.
yes.
You could have killed that guy. He's like,
Yeah.
no, you could have shot me.
You could have killed that guy, but I saw the match. You killed Bones. He's dead. Bonesaw's dead.
You're Spider-Man. Everyone knows who you are now. You're a world famous web slinger.
Yeah, and he's not wearing the mask in that scene. It's
Right.
just like, yeah.
Right.
Wasn't before internet either.
Yeah.
Maybe in this universe.
Right.
So Peter leaves,
Right.
but then he finds out that Uncle Ben was shot in the chest. It's true because he looks through the newspaper and sees. He doesn't look on the internet.
No, he does not.
Does he have a computer in his room?
Nah.
So yeah, he finds out that Uncle Ben was shot in the chest, and Ben dies while Peter holds his hand. Very sad. So Peter chases after the carjacker, and he figures out how to web sling more effectively. Notice in this movie,
Through anger.
Yes, he focuses in this movie through anger multiple times.
Yeah.
We'll get to that later.
Don't we all?
The guy crashes into some abandoned building because Peter jumped on the car. We have a cool shot of Spider-Man hanging upside down while the guy's like in the forefront of the shot looking for him. And then Peter beats up the guy, but then he's shocked to find out that it's the same guy that he let rob their promoter.
So basically, he killed Uncle Ben.
This has always been Peter Parker's,
Cross to bear.
his tragedy and all that. And the guy holds up the gun to his face, but Peter breaks the guy's hand and he falls out of a window into his death.
You know, this scene
Vigilante.
was...
So he doesn't kill him, but he kind of kills him.
This scene was more satisfying and interesting to see, like, after having seen No Way Home.
Yeah.
Like, going back and seeing it again.
Right.
Like, kind of through that lens. That was cool to see.
Sure, yeah. Next
You
up,
mean
we
him
have
getting the revenge or what?
Yes.
Oh. Well, until
Like knowing-
Spider-Man 3. And
like
we find
knowing-
out
he
didn't quite get the revenge.
Like, knowing how it affects
Right.
him 20 years later.
That's so weird when you just change everything. But no, Spider-Man 3, that's in 2 weeks.
All right.
We'll get to that train wreck when we
Can't
get
wait. Can't wait.
Oh, boy.
We have a quick little scene of the military general like showing up to an Oscorp competitor, and then Norman as Green Goblin just kills them all. And there's that close up of the military general just going, "Ah!" And then he blows up.
Yeah.
Then Peter and Harry graduate high school. I'm not sure exactly how much time has passed
What?
since Uncle Ben died.
Little?
Can't be that long because Norman's, kind of just getting started.
Right.
Meanwhile, MJ breaks up with Flash. Norman also seems more interested in Peter graduating than Harry. He even tells Harry, he's like, you graduated. It's not the first time I've been proven wrong. And Harry's just like, what the fuck, man?
You dumb fuck. Peter! Congratulations.
Peter,
With honors.
Wow.
And then after
Magna
that...
cum laude?
And then right after that, he's talking to Peter, and then Harry in the background just kind of walks away like, well,
Yeah.
fuck me, I guess.
Right. Then back home, Peter tells May that he was mean to Ben before he died, but he doesn't tell her everything. That's for the next movie.
Yep.
And then Peter remembers the great power line, and he finally makes the costume, and we watch a montage of Spider-Man stopping criminals. It's lots of fun. People caught in giant webs. It's, again, very cartoony. And we get testimonials from citizens talking about him, including comedian Jim Norton. Just one little, he stinks and I don't like him. Then we meet the co-MVP of this movie.
Sure.
J. Jonah Jameson.
Yes.
Played by J.K. Simmons.
Still to this day.
Yeah. Still to this day, the greatest, the most accurate portrayal of a comic book character
Sure.
ever.
Yes.
Because he played it
Looks
perfect.
like him, sounds like him.
Yeah.
From what I think he would sound like.
Oh, yeah.
Or even the cartoons.
The cartoons, right. I mean, he's just this lunatic. Like, he just is a cartoon character, and they played it that way.
He's all about money. He
Yes.
just wants to screw everybody out of money.
They go, sir, your wife called. And he goes, he picks up the phone, immediately hangs it up on his old-timey phone.
Who would have thought J. Jonah Jameson would, like, in a way, steal this movie?
Yeah.
Holy
yeah.
shit.
Awesome.
great.
So good.
So Jonah puts an ad in the. They mention they want to get pictures of Spider-Man. One of the guys says Eddie's been trying to get pictures of him for weeks. So a little Eddie Brock mention.
Right.
And then Jonah puts an ad in the paper for money for pictures of Spider-Man, and Peter sees that. Meanwhile, MJ is ashamed. It's funny in this movie, Peter keeps running into MJ
So many
in the
times.
city.
So many times.
Like, this is really a sick like, he's just stalking her. Every single time. He's just like, oh, MJ, what are you doing here?
20 million people.
Imagine
Come
that.
on. Come on.
Yeah, very, very coincidence.
Or
A
like
lot of
it's
coincidence.
endearing because he's in love with her his whole life and whatever.
Sure. Yeah. So he also tells him she's dating
Yeah.
she's dating Harry. Obviously, he's very upset about that. And back at the apartment, Peter, that I guess Norman pays for. I don't know if Peter helps pay for that apartment.
That him and Harry have.
Yeah. I mean, I guess he does. I don't know. I guess he does, but
No, Peter
Peter-
pays nothing because look at where he is in the second movie.
Right.
sure.
That's
Yeah.
all Norman.
Peter tells Harry that Dr. Connors fired him for being late. So another, a lizard reference there. And Norman offers Peter a job, but he refuses to take charity, and Norman loves him even more for that.
I respect that.
I respect that.
Stupid ass. I could have paid you a lot of money.
Yeah. And then Peter takes photos of himself as he stops criminals, and he takes those photos to Jameson, and Jameson rips him off.
It's so good though.
Rips
You have
him
that
off
whole-
so much.
It's so good.
Crap.
Yeah. I'll give you 200. And he's like, I think they're worth more than that. And he's like, all right, see you later. And then he takes a quick phone call and is like, your wife wants this expensive thing. And he's like, all right, 300. But it's like,
He's like,
really,
give me those. You know what I mean? Yeah.
like $1,000 at least for the front page, the thing that's going to sell your paper
Right.
to everyone.
right.
And then we meet Elizabeth Banks. She has the small role of Miss Brandt,
Yeah, it's great.
who's from like the old Spider-Man cartoons
I love
and all
her.
that. Yeah. Meanwhile, Norman's board of directors voted to sell Oscorp, and they are forcing his resignation. And Norman says,
Try to do it. Try to do it.
You can't do this to me. I started this company. You know how much I sacrificed?
Yes.
Like, Norman, Spider-Man's not here.
Yeah.
You're out, Norman. Am I? So at the World Unity Festival, the World Unity Festival,
Sure.
everyone goes there. It's like it's like the circus in Batman
Right,
Forever.
that's right.
Anybody who's anybody goes to the World Unity Festival,
Of course.
and Peter's there taking pictures because Jonah's going to give him 25 cents for these photos.
Per picture.
And Peter's spider sense goes off, and Green Goblin Power Ranger shows up. This is where we first see like a good look of him as the Green Goblin. And when this first came out, everyone was like, he looks like a Power Ranger villain because he 100,000,000% does.
Yeah.
Sure.
And that's like the biggest, criticism about the Green Goblin in this movie is it looks super cartoony. It really does look like a Power Ranger fight at a lot of times. But he kills the board of directors with some bombs that turn them into skeletons. MJ and Harry are right there. Thankfully, they don't turn into skeletons.
Thank you. Yeah.
Almost kills them in the process. Peter saves some people from falling debris. Even Stan Lee has a cameo saving some kids, which I think this was his first cameo.
It had to have been because
He had one in X-Men.
There were. Did he?
I don't remember.
Was he in X-Men?
I don't think so, but I didn't. It's not like I watched the first X-Men that many times, but I don't remember him having a cameo in X-Men. But he could have.
Yeah.
Yeah. And then Spider-Man kicks Green Goblin off his glider. The police draw their guns on him, and Goblin goes, "I surrender!" And then he beats the fuck out of the police.
That was great.
And then Spider-Man webs Goblin in the eyes and rips some wires off his glider. And Goblin just kind of like, he can't control it. He's flying away, and he goes, "We'll meet again, Spider-Man."
Yeah.
Like classic comic book line, cartoon line.
Yeah.
Oh, he is. He does have a cameo.
He was a hot dog vendor.
Yeah.
So I guess that's the first, like, live action.
He did cameos for like 16 years or whatever. It's crazy.
Yep.
So yeah, Spider-Man saves MJ from falling, and then he takes her for a ride.
Sure.
He didn't have to do that.
Yeah.
Could have just put her down. But he's like, no, let's go.
Yeah.
He takes her just to some place, some
Yeah.
field, and she's like, wow, you're awesome. And he's
And
like,
she's like,
yeah.
She's like, wow, you carry a banana while you're webbing up? That's cool, I guess,
That's right. You
Just in case you get hungry.
couldn't see that other hand.
Oh, yeah.
She's in love with 4 people in this movie.
Sure.
She's in love with Flash,
Yeah.
Harry,
Yeah.
Spider-Man, and Peter Parker.
I see what you did there.
4 people she's in love with.
Yeah, sure,
Girl's
sure,
got a
sure.
problem. Next up, we have a great Dr. Jekyll and Mr. Hyde scene of Norman talking to himself in the mirror.
Mm-hmm.
I love how it cuts back and forth. Then Goblin shows up to the Daily Bugle, blasts a hole through Jameson's office. This is what he does all the time.
Sure.
And he threatens to kill Jameson unless he tells him who takes pictures of Spider-Man.
And this is where it's so great.
Yeah, because to Jameson's credit, he doesn't give up Peter.
What a
Right.
hero moment for him.
It is, though.
It's a redeeming moment.
It is
Yes.
a redeeming moment where it's like, okay, he's not the evil guy. The
Yeah.
Goblin's the evil guy.
Right. He's like, he sends his pictures in the mail.
It just shows his integrity, even
Yeah.
if he could die.
Right.
I mean, even I might be like, Peter Parker.
Absolutely.
Here's his address.
And then it's great because Peter was there, but then he shows up as Spider-Man, and Jameson just like the comics and the cartoon, like, Spider-Man, I knew you were working with the Goblin. And then he just webs Jameson's mouth.
No, that's right.
It's fucking great.
Shut up, you asshole.
So then Goblin puts Spider-Man to sleep with some sleepy spray, sleepy mist.
Sleep mist. Yeah.
He just goes, sleep.
And that's
Takes
it.
him to a rooftop and propositions Spider-Man to join him, since the people of New York will eventually turn on him.
Yeah.
He's
Very-
like, after everything you've done for them, eventually they'll hate you.
Very date rapey, this whole
It
situation.
really was. Think about it, hero.
And then he just gets the paper and it's like, Spider-Man's a dick. And he's like, fuck, he's right.
It's really just one guy.
It's just Jameson.
Because he
Yeah.
knows that'll sell papers.
Right. He
He's
doesn't
saying-
want to be famous. I'll make him infamous.
I'll make yeah, that's right.
And also, like, he's also throwing his cigars out the window. Like, when he's done with the cigar, throws out the window.
Yes. Yeah.
It's fucking great. So then Peter again just meets with MJ. He's like, oh, hey, MJ, what a coincidence. How did we meet here? And she's like, what the fuck?
Yeah.
They have a brief little conversation about getting food sometime, and then she walks into an alley. It's like, why? Into an alley, MJ, really?
You don't do that.
And he sees some men follow her in there.
And they see her and they go, hey, come on.
Yeah. Let's go rape this girl.
Who wants to rape? Raise your hand.
It's
All right.
New York City. What can you do?
Yeah.
So they start to attack her, but Spider-Man beats them up without his mask.
Yeah.
But thankfully it's dark, it's raining, so he runs away from her, and you can see right through MJ's shirt. I think this is the only reason why they made them 18. Is because if it was like, if she's supposed to be 16, because the other Spider-Man movies, Tom Holland's like 15.
Right.
You can't be like, well, she's 15 and you're seeing her nipples.
Yeah.
No.
You're seeing right through her shirt. She's not wearing a bra. It's unbelievable,
Right.
that they went this route. But yeah, I mean, hey, it was great. Everyone liked it.
Yeah.
And then Spider-Man hangs upside down in front of her, and she pulls down part of his mask, and they make out. And this is like the number one shot everyone remembers from this movie.
Sure.
Of course.
It's the most famous
Iconic.
shot.
Yeah.
So they have a little kissy kiss. Then the next day, there's an apartment fire, and Spider-Man saves some woman's baby.
And she's cheating on Harry.
Oh yeah,
Yeah.
absolutely.
Whore. What?
There's a lot of cheating going on in these movies.
And
Yeah.
not just from that scene, like the scene right before it when she's talking to Toby.
Yeah.
She's being super flirty
Oh,
with
yeah.
him, and she's like, "Oh, well, why would you care about that? Oh,
Yeah, we should go get
why-
coffee sometime.
Why are you interested? Hmm?
That's right, yeah. So Spider-Man saves the baby, then he hears another scream in the apartment, so he goes back in. But it's Green Goblin in drag! Oh my god!
Yeah, but that's like one of the best lines of the film, I think. That's underrated, where he's like, hey, you're coming with us.
Right.
He's like, I got to go save that baby.
Yes.
It's like, we'll be here when you come back.
Yeah.
I'm not coming back.
Yeah.
And like, as if they could do anything. And he's like,
Right. All right,
Go get the baby. What am I supposed to do?
Yeah.
The real costume like, get your ass on the ground.
So Goblin asks if he's in or out. Spider-Man says, it's you who's out, Gobby. Out of your mind.
Hey,
Yeah.
I mean, come on.
They have a brief fight, but then Spider-Man bails,
He's
which
losing.
is weird. Little weird
All right.
that he just would, retreat from the fight.
He's a young kid who has never fought before.
Okay.
What is this? His third fight?
And Goblin's like,
Second.
no one says no to me.
Yeah.
Which is a little weird because he actually, like their first fight, like Toby just got his ass handed to him. In this one, he actually gives a little back in this one.
Yeah.
A little
But
odd.
He doesn't know how much sleep mist he has on him.
That's right.
Sure.
Yeah.
So Norman shows up to have Thanksgiving dinner with Harry.
Another great scene.
He meets MJ.
He's
meets,
looking at her like,
yeah, Aunt May and Peter. Peter swings into his room and they all hear him. And they all go to Peter's room.
Yeah.
Everyone goes to Peter's room.
right.
It's like, let's all go and see. Aunt May can't fucking help herself.
Well,
She's always trying to bust in his room.
What if he's jerking off? Gotta see.
Gotta go
think
see
that's
it.
why.
Gotta find
yeah.
out. Gotta know.
So they go into his room, but he's still in the suit, so he hangs on the ceiling. And then some of Peter's blood falls from the ceiling.
Thank God no one has peripheral vision.
Yeah.
Not one of them.
It's a high ceiling.
Come on.
It's higher than this ceiling for sure.
All right, fine.
But one drop of blood, I mean, this is even crazier.
my God.
Unless Norman has spider sense,
Well, he's got, superhuman everything.
goblin sense.
Yeah.
So one drop of blood splashes
And you
on the
hear-
ground.
Wait.
And then he looks at it, and then he looks up, but Peter's gone, and he's like underneath the balcony.
Right.
So then Peter shows up to dinner, and May really fucks him over here.
Yeah.
Really fucks herself up too,
Well,
because she notices Peter's cut seeping through his shirt. And that's where Norman realizes that Peter's Spider-Man. Immediately excuses himself from dinner. He was about to cut the turkey. Which Aunt May, he grabs a knife, he's looking at May, and he's like just playing with the knives and staring at her.
and you missed one of his best lines of the film when he comes in. Sorry, I'm late.
Yeah.
Work was murder.
Work was murder.
Yeah.
And then Peter's like, I had to beat an old lady with a stick to get these cranberries or something. It was just like, and everyone's like, what? Work was murder.
Work was murder, Spider-Man.
So Harry chases his father out of the room, and he tells his dad, like, this girl's important to me. And Norman tells Harry that MJ's only after, his money. And then he tells him, little word of advice. Do what you need to do with her, and then broom her fast.
So good.
Jesus Christ.
It's like, holy shit, man.
Yeah.
Just fuck her and dump her, Spider-Man. So then the Goblin tells Norman to attack Peter's heart. First, we attack his heart.
Well, but hold on. I don't like how Mary Jane got mad at Harry.
Dude, I was thinking the
'cause
same thing.
He's like, and he's yelling. He's like, no, I like her. She's amazing,
Yeah.
right? So he goes back in, and she's like, thanks for standing up to me. He totally stuck up for you.
Yeah, it's like, what the fuck was he supposed to do? Punch his dad in the face?
Yeah.
Like, what do you expect?
Like, you don't have to like his dad, but come on now.
Right.
It's his
It was,
fucking
just,
dad.
it was her
Yes.
rationalizing kissing Spider-Man.
Right.
Right.
I got to be mad at him. And plus, she has an
Yes.
abusive father, so obviously
Oh
she's
my
going to
God.
be sensitive to that.
They make her just make horrible choices in this whole franchise.
Yes.
Yeah, absolutely.
She's just always kind of like,
Yeah. So now that he knows who he is, he's got to attack Peter's heart. So this is the funniest scene in the movie.
Yes.
We have Aunt May praying in her room.
me do it.
She's doing our Father who art in heaven,
Fantastic.
and Goblin blows a hole in her fucking room.
Right, and
blows
she's
a
fine.
hole in the house.
yeah.
And go ahead.
Finish it. Finish it.
From evil. and then Peter
He
visits.
doesn't kill her.
No,
But then she's in the hospital.
just scares her.
yeah. He
She's in the
scares her to
hospital,
death.
and she goes, "Those eyes, those horrible yellow eyes." It's like
he-
that's what you're afraid of.
He had a mask on. What are you
His scary mask.
doing?
It was a little odd. So then MJ tells Peter that she's in love with Spider-Man. Peter tells MJ he told Spider-Man some great things about. I mean, the speech he gives her here, where he's like, "You look into her eyes, and you're brave and scared at the same time." Like he just builds her up. It's like, how does she not blow him right there?
Oh,
with
yeah.
Aunt May in the
With
room.
Aunt May,
Yeah.
like,
Yes.
"Oh, good for you, Peter. It was about time you pop your cherry."
Right.
But like, yeah, it was just like, holy shit. And then Harry
And then,
walks in.
I think in the trailer the line was, or did it stay in the movie? Because I know you guys just watched it.
Yeah.
Where in the trailer, she's like, "You're not Superman,"
Yeah, that's later. She says
She
it.
says it. Okay.
Yeah, she goes, "Be careful, you're not Superman."
Yeah.
And he's like, ha ha ha.
But she says it. Yeah, the trailer she said it at a different time for some reason. But then
She was in the hospital.
Yeah.
Yeah.
In the trailer,
Yeah.
like when
Yeah.
he was sitting next to her.
Yeah.
Yes.
And he just looks at her like, what?
Yeah.
So then Harry walks in, sees them holding hands. And then Harry goes home. And he's like, Dad? And he just hears,
Yeah.
Dad, are you okay?
I can't wait to hear that joke, Dad. Sounds like a good one.
What the fuck's going on, Dad?
Can you imagine you go home and you hear that? Dad, I'm home. Ah! Holy fuck! Okay,
go.
I'm gonna leave. My dad's doing cocaine. He's doing heroin again.
Oh.
What the fuck? So Harry then tells his dad that Peter and MJ are in love. Norman apologizes to Harry for being a bad father. They hug, and then the next shot is the goblin screaming right into the camera. He's like, oh, and then, They do these jump scares.
Yeah.
Kind of fucked up that it took like insane Norman
Yeah.
for Harry to finally get that moment from his dad.
Right.
That's
Right.
rough.
Right.
So Aunt May wakes up from her coma or whatever, and she tells Peter, to tell MJ how much he cares about her because everyone else knows. And Peter panics. He goes to call MJ, but Goblin answers, "Can Spider-Man come out to play?"
Yeah.
Pretty
And
good.
then he tells her where he is. And then MJ wakes up on top of Queensboro Bridge. Goblin kidnaps
Yikes.
her in a tram car full of children. And Goblin makes Peter choose between saving MJ and the kids. Goblin drops them both. And then the next shot
the
is
greatest shot.
Spider-Man running away from
Away
the
from
tram.
the kids.
And it's just like, fuck them
Just
kids.
like
that's
fuck them kids.
that's the perfect fuck them kids meme there is.
so good.
He's just like, he's got his priorities.
Sure. But JJ.
He manages to swoop MJ and grab the rope to save the kids on the tram. And then MJ has got to climb down the rope to the tram. And while she's doing this, Goblin is punching Spider-Man, and he's barely holding on. Spider-Man's barely holding on, and MJ is also barely holding on. But she's like going like flying around, and it's just like, wow, I guess she has superpowers.
Yeah.
She's really strong.
very strong.
And then Goblin's about to kill,
Spider-Man!
but the great people of New York throw shit at him
Yeah.
with the American flag behind them.
And
That's
Mets
always kind of a
hats.
theme.
Well, it was right after 9/11.
Yeah.
You know, you mess with one of us, you mess with all of us.
Yeah.
And then Goblin throws Spider-Man into a building, and a goblin bomb explodes right on his face. Like this close.
Yeah.
It's like, holy shit. Then Goblin beats the fuck out of him. He tells him, I'm going to finish your girlfriend off nice and slow. MJ and I, we're going to have a hell of a time. And he's got like this big spear-like thing, like almost like a trident.
Right.
And once again, this is where Peter gets pissed off and uses the anger to gain strength. And then he ends up kicking Goblin's ass. He drops a brick wall on him.
Yeah.
And then Norman, he's punching the Goblin in his metal mask. And he's so strong that it's hurting him.
Right.
Yep.
And then Norman takes off the Goblin mask. And this is where Peter realizes that it's Norman
Right.
for the first time. And Norman begs Peter for help. He tells him, I would never hurt you. But you see him, he's calling for the glider. He tells Peter, I've been like a father to you. Be a son to me. But Peter says, I have a father. His name was Ben Parker. And then he says, Godspeed, Spider-Man.
Godspeed, Spider-Man!
Godspeed, Spider-Man. And then the glider comes. Peter jumps over the glider, and it impales Norman right in the dick.
Yeah.
I
Right
know.
in the dick.
Clearly self-inflicted wounds. Am I right?
Yes.
Yes.
Am I right?
Absolutely.
Foreshadowing a couple movies
Yes.
later.
By the way, right before it hits him, there's a close-up of Willem Dafoe going, oh.
Yeah.
And then he gets impaled.
Oh, right.
And after seeing No Way Home, remember, he gets cured and sent back back to his correct universe. That's the moment where he gets sent back. He wakes up, he goes, oh, plah!
Maybe. Yeah.
Oh,
good. Nice.
shit.
Nice.
So it's not a happy ending after all.
Wow.
Yeah. Right.
When you think about it,
Right.
it's just kind of
Wow.
interesting. And then his last words are, Peter, don't tell Harry. And then he
Peter.
dies.
Yeah.
Which earlier in the movie, MJ tells Peter, don't tell Harry
Yes.
about them.
Yeah.
So multiple don't tell Harrys.
Yep.
So he doesn't tell Harry. Harry, though, does catch Spider-Man bringing Norman's dead body home, which I was wondering how he managed to, put his body back together because it was impaled.
Oh, right.
Imagine it was like, well, here's his legs, and then here's
Well, he
his
wasn't
body.
cut in half. He was just impaled with some
I know.
swords.
But why did he bring his body home?
I don't know.
Yeah.
Hospital.
Why?
Right.
Or
Well, he
you know,
probably
leave-
Well, no,
thought-
he had to.
Once-
You know
once-
what? He had to take all of the goblin shit off and bring him home naked because he didn't want Harry to know that he was the goblin.
Once he found out who it was, he's like, I can't just leave this guy to be found in a Green Goblin suit.
Don't tell Harry.
Like, right. Don't tell
There
Harry.
you go.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So at Norman's funeral, Harry tells Peter that, he'll make sure Spider-Man pays. And then MJ tells Peter that she's in love with him and they make out. But Peter tells her, I'll always be your friend. And she's like, just a friend, Peter Parker? He's like, that's all I have to give. And then he walks
All I
away
have
from
to
her.
give, yeah.
And then she has this little moment where she touches her lips and she's like,
Like she knows.
But then the next movie she doesn't fucking know.
But then
she
she
kissed
doesn't
Spider-Man and Peter.
Right.
Yeah, then the next movie she doesn't know. Well, at the end of the movie, at the end of 2, she just say, I think I always knew. But
No,
Yeah.
he didn't.
not for sure.
No.
And then we have one last shot of Spider-Man swinging through the city to end the movie.
Only a hero can save us. I'm not gonna stand here and wait.
Jesus, 20 years later.
Yeah.
Still relevant.
Good job, Nickelback.
basically saying he's Spider-Man.
Still the best.
Good job,
He basically
Nickelback.
said in that song that he's a better hero than Spider-Man.
Yeah.
He's like, oh, we're waiting for a hero, but I'm gonna do it.
Yeah, sure.
Yeah, I loved that song when it came out.
Yeah.
Yeah, we all did. It's a good movie.
I loved it because it was part of this movie.
I loved
course.
everything to do with this movie when it
Yeah.
came out. Yeah.
Yeah. So, ratings?
I mean,
As a Spider-Man movie.
See?
No, I'm just kidding.
Spider-Man
No, I've always loved this movie. This
Yeah.
is like an 8 out of 10 for me. It got me excited about superhero movies again. And I loved it. 8 out of 10.
I would give it an 8. Also.
8.5. 8.5.
Sure.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I'm leaving room for Spider-Man 2 for
That's
next week.
Wow.
that's
sure.
why I'm
And for,
yes.
Endgame and Infinity War.
Yeah,
instead, you know.
of course. Right.
But there could be more than one 10 out of 10.
Yeah, there's
Oh,
not a
absolutely.
whole lot of improvements you could make to this. It's
Right.
very fun.
Right. So some trivia. This was the first movie to gross $100 million in its opening weekend.
That's insane.
Also the biggest opening day ever at the time with 39.4 million.
Wow.
In 2002.
That's crazy that it came out so hot so fast, considering that like the MCU wasn't a thing yet.
Right.
Yep.
Yeah. Also, if you rewatch this, you may notice Willem Dafoe wore dental prosthetics when he's good guy Norman. So when he's Oscorp guy, he's got normal
This
teeth.
is so great.
But when he's evil Norman or the Goblin, he took off the prosthetics and just showed his
Regular
natural fucked up teeth.
That's
Because
so
one of the
amazing.
people involved were like, no, he's got to fix his teeth because, he's a big billionaire businessman. That guy wouldn't have messed up teeth.
Right.
So then they came up with the idea, I'll just take off the prosthetics when I'm the Goblin.
Yeah.
And that
That's
was really
awesome.
cool. In the mirror shot, it's great when it goes back and forth. Also, James Franco joked about Tobey Maguire's frog-like features on set, and that created friction between the two of them.
Frog.
And they did not get along. Yeah, I guess he said he looked like a frog, like his face.
What? All right.
Okay.
So they didn't get along. The original trailer had Spider-Man stopping bank robbers in a getaway helicopter. The helicopter was caught and a giant spider web suspended between the two towers of the World Trade Center. I remember
that.
seeing this trailer, as a kid.
Yep.
And then after 9/11, the scene was removed from the film.
Yep.
And there were also a lot of posters, teaser posters that showed a close-up of Spider-Man's face.
Yes.
With the New York skyline, obviously with the World Trade Center towers in it, reflected in his eyes. And then apparently not all the posters were recovered, and the ones that are still out there are highly prized collector's items now.
Yeah, and that's why, like, the part in the movie where it's just like a montage of him stopping all these criminals, like, that was supposed to be that scene with the bank robbers. Like,
Right.
So it's like you see that he's about to become Spider-Man. He's looking at the costume, and then the next scene is supposed to be these bank robbers, and then they're stopped by Spider-Man World Trade Center. You know what I mean? Like, it was going to be this epic thing.
Yeah.
And it's a shame they didn't get to do it.
Yep.
David Fincher was asked to direct. His version would have been based on the night Gwen Stacy died.
Wow. Wow.
Yeah. This was really interesting. The font of the movie title was later used for the logo of the original PlayStation 3 model.
Wow.
Look at this. It's the same.
Yeah.
Fantastic.
So fucking cool.
Yep.
I like that. Also, the studio wanted Leonardo DiCaprio to play Peter Parker.
Well.
And then Mel Gibson, Nicolas Cage, and John Malkovich were all offered the role of Norman Osborn.
You know,
They turned it down. Imagine Nicolas
Nick
Cage.
It's really crazy you mentioned the Fincher thing because there hadn't really been superhero movies. And then Batman 89 came along, and it was the dark version that got done there with Burton. And then, you know, it would be easy to fall into the, okay, well, let's do another, you know, dark thing that worked for Batman. But they went a total different, because with Fincher, what would David Fincher have done? A fucking dark Burton kind of thing. But Sam Raimi
What's in
making
the box?
this crazy,
MJ's head.
bright comic book thing. This is why the MCU happened.
Nicolas Cage is Norman
crazy.
Osborn. A Godspeed, Spider-Man!
Yeah. Right.
Also, Tim Burton was considered to direct, but he told them that he's more of a DC guy.
Interesting.
Yeah.
And then this one's really interesting. In 93, James Cameron was hired to rewrite an existing draft for Spider-Man for Carol Co. Pictures. The script was going to feature Liz Allen as Peter Parker's love interest instead of Mary Jane. The villain was Dr. Otto Octavius. Unlike the comics, Octavius was a professor who would be a mentor to college senior Peter Parker, and Otto called himself Professor Octopus after his 4 mechanical arms became accidentally fused to his body. During an accident, Octavius turns into Professor Ock when he is bitten in the back of the neck by the same radioactive spider that turns Peter into Spider-Man.
It's just things just been running around the city or
Yeah. And then to make the film more kid-friendly, the company had Doc Ock constantly use the phrase "okie dokie."
what?
Okie dokie.
Oh my god.
Wow.
And Ock had an assistant named Wiener
Yeah.
that later kills Uncle Ben instead of the burglar.
Sure.
Wiener.
Fucking
Also,
wiener.
James Cameron's first choice to play Dr. Octopus, Arnold Schwarzenegger.
Well,
you
sure.
go. There
you
you
know.
go.
And then his choice to play Peter Parker, Edward Furlong.
No.
That's what it said.
I guess it's all James
It's like, how
Cameron.
could you just, you're just going to do this. Like, I can't believe that would be true.
Right.
That he'd be that stupid.
to do Terminator 2 again?
Terminator 2, and then like 2 years later, you're doing the movie with the both of them again.
That
Right.
was a dead zone of comic book movies. Some of those got made back then. I think there was a Captain America movie.
Well,
I
yeah.
think there might have been a Flash movie back
Sure.
around that time that were just like direct-to-video trash heaps.
Oh,
Yeah.
absolutely.
Yeah.
Yeah.
This is also the first Marvel movie to showcase the flipping pages Marvel logo.
Yes.
So that's
I
kinda
miss
cool.
that. Like,
Yeah.
the new one is so long now.
I know.
It's like a
Yeah.
30-second thing. You just be,
Yes.
Yeah. And it was so cool.
and it was quiet.
perfect.
yeah.
Yeah, it was great.
It was really, really nice.
Anything else?
No.
All right, fan questions. Let's see what they thought. Joey Cage, well, he had a question for Josh, but he's not here. But he said, Josh, what if in the multiverse you're Peter Parker and Andrew is Willem Dagoat, Green Goblin, and kidnaps your girlfriend and a trainload of your TBD army are able to save both of us? Or are you going to Willem to fuck it up? Oh, gotcha.
Oh.
He says, love this movie and I always will. Fire emoji, mind blown emoji, heart emoji, and then I don't know
Frustrated?
if that one is. Maybe. Or like he just busted. I don't know. Stephen with a V, what is the one superhero movie you would love to see made? My pick would be the Gambit Origins movie with Channing Tatum that was meant to take place in the mid-2000s, but of course never happened. Maybe he'll make a Deadpool 3 cameo and be killed off straight away. That could happen.
Yeah.
Sure.
I'd love to see a solid Punisher movie.
Yeah, the show was great, though.
The show was great, but a movie, just a self-contained hour and a half, hour 45 movie.
Right. Yeah, what's like a Spider-Man like villain or Batman villain that they haven't really... I mean, I guess like a Riddler that could be taken seriously as a Batman villain. No, well, I guess they just did that. That's right. They just did he was the best part of the Robert Pattinson one.
Yeah. Planet Hulk was kind of done in Ragnarok, but like you still want to see
That's what they're...
more of that story.
That's what they're going to do now.
Yeah.
After the She-Hulk ending,
yeah.
where he shows up and he's like, hey, this is my son.
Well, that's like already been done.
Yeah, so
I
they're going to
forgot
show what
about
happened
that.
there.
Oh my
Yeah.
God.
Right.
Here's my son. He's like, hey.
Yeah, I'm worried about that. I'm worried about them fucking that up. Carlos Ramirez, my favorite Spider-Man film. This was the Batman 89 of my generation. I remember the theater cheering for the Hulk teaser before the movie. It scared me a little. My parents had to explain what a Hulk was. Loved the fight scenes, music, costumes, and heart of the movie. Oh, so this movie had the Ang Lee Hulk trailer.
Oh my
Oh,
God.
shit. Those
Which-
did come out around the same time.
That's one of the worst superhero movies ever.
Yeah.
Horrible.
That was so bad. PCJ 2002 was a great year for us nerds. Spider-Man, Attack of the Clones, Harry Potter, Lord of the Rings, all in theaters that year.
Wow.
This is one of the best superhero movies. Great action, very quotable. We got Randy Savage as Bonesaw and got emotional moments considering the timing of, after 9/11.
Right.
And yes, I love the Nickelback Hero song. If you had a 50-50 chance of becoming Spider-Man, would you risk getting the radioactive spider bite? So wait, what's the other 50%? You die?
Die or
Yeah.
become Spider-Man.
Maybe.
That's pretty, yeah.
Maybe.
Take those. I mean, that's
Maybe.
pretty great.
Pretty good. Pretty fucking good.
Pretty
If
great.
successful, what's the first thing you do? You fuck MJ.
Yeah. We're fine. Every girl named Mary Jane with red hair, come see me.
The first time you save her and she's like, "Who are you?" You're like, it's me.
It's me.
I'm Peter Parker. Or
Andrew
whatever.
Pisano.
I'm
What?
Andrew Pisano.
You
yeah.
know.
Yeah, I'm Spider-Man. Yeah.
Spider-Man.
You want to do this or what?
Yeah.
Bill Capri was the Green Goblin. Oh, death, the most awkward way for a villain to go out in any superhero movie. I mean, I thought it was cool because he snapped back into it right before he died.
Yes.
You know, but he was never gonna be okay until they saved him in No Way Home. P.S. It feels like people are less harsher with this movie for some reason, which puts this movie harder to rank, in my opinion. Well, there's always the nostalgia thing. It's not the best Spider-Man movie, but we'll get there. Amraj, Sam Raimi's first choice to play Spider-Man was Tobey Maguire. If he couldn't get him, then his second was Sylvester Stallone. And if Sam couldn't get him, then the next choice was Hulk Hogan.
There's no way that's true.
So this is because last week, Josh and I did the Batman and Robin review. And what's the fucking guy's name? Joel Schumacher's first choice for Mr. Freeze was Arnold. His second choice, if Arnold said no, was Stallone. His
my
third
God.
choice was Hulk Hogan.
That makes sense.
Amazing.
They couldn't have done worse than Schwarzenegger.
And it was like, I said on the podcast, I was like, I want to live in the universe where that movie was made.
Hulk Hogan.
Freeze, brother!
Freeze, brother. It's so good. Oh my God.
Yeah, chill, dude. And it's like, oh my God. Would he still have the fucking handlebar mustache?
You can't shave it. Yes.
There's no ice here.
Yeah.
Ice chill, bro. Oh my God, that would be amazing. Omar, it's stupid they removed the World Trade Center from the movie. Thanks a lot, Bin Laden. Go fuck yourself, motherfucker.
Yeah.
I think we could all agree there.
Fuck that guy.
S. Thorne, the scene with Goblin and Spidey talking on a rooftop in their costumes is one of the best surreal moments in a movie. Made me realize that some scenes from a comic do not translate well to screen.
Yeah.
Wait, anytime he's just standing around in the Green Goblin suit, yeah, it looks funny. Chef Dave, congrats to Spider-Man for winning the world's What's Wrong with Wrestling Undisputed Heavyweight Championship of the world.
Nice.
I mean, Joey says, okay, yeah.
Congrats again.
Sure, congrats again, yeah.
Thank you. Wow.
Amir, I remember the first time I saw this, I was a little kid, turned on the TV. I turned the TV off because I thought Green Goblin is literally going to kill Peter at the end. Wow.
Oof.
Amir was 20 years old. Interesting.
Yeah.
No, I'm just kidding. Joe Guerrero, this is the first bootleg movie I ever bought. Before this movie, it never occurred to me people could hide a camcorder in the theater.
Right.
Interesting.
Right.
Deddy Guerrero, bone saw is ready. He's quoting, yeah, look around you going nowhere. I got you for 3 minutes. LOL, RIP Macho. Anyway, I heard a hilarious rumor that Bruce Campbell had the trailer next to Macho Man, and that Bruce always said he'd hear Macho and his woman having loud sex all the time.
Jesus.
Think about that the next time you snap into a Slim Jim.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah.
Oh my God.
Imagine the whole trailer.
Oh, yeah. Oh, yeah. Oh, yeah. I'm gonna come.
Oh my God.
Snap into my Slim Jim.
Yeah.
Jesus.
My dick is ready.
Oh, what's the cream of the crop?
Here comes my cream of my crop.
Despite what Spider-Man said, I don't have a husband. Yeah. All right, that's all for fan questions. Make sure you subscribe wherever you're viewing us. Follow the show on Twitter, Facebook, Instagram, and TikTok at Hollywood Hog Pod. Become a supporter of the show at patreon.com/Hollywood Hogwash. We got a bracket coming out this week.
Bracket.
And next week,
Next week we have
Yes, Spider-Man.
I think he said 2 right at the end. It was perfect.
Yes, Spider-Man 2. Some people say it's the greatest superhero movie of all time.
It's up there.
It's up there.
Up there.
It's in the argument.
It is.
It's in the argument.
It's really great.
Wow.
See you then. Spider-Man!
I'm ready excited.